Ryder. Come here, puppy. Ryder. Good morning. Welcome to my kitchen this morning. It's a little bit cold here this morning, so I got a sweater on. We are going to get started. Hi, good morning. Happy Friday. We made it through another week. Awesome. And I am going to be making some breakfast biscuit sandwiches for the freezer for stock up. So when hubby's in a hurry, I have them already in the freezer. So we're going to get started on that. I'm going to be trying out the new product over here that we got in last week. And we're going to work with it. And I'm going to be doing some fermenting honey and garlic. And it is supposed to be like a natural antibiotic. And it helps with inflammation. And some people even say it helps with sinuses. So I'm going to try it. I'm not sure if I've ever had it before, but I'm going to give it a try. I've been researching it on YouTube, and I'm going to give it a try this morning. So, welcome to my kitchen. I'm glad that you're joining me this morning. Get yourself some coffee, a cold drink, warm drink, and let's get busy in the kitchen this morning. I want to make sure I've got volume up here this morning. I want to make sure you can hear me okay. And we are going to get busy cooking and baking this morning. So I'm going to do a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. And I'm going to be doing these for the freezer because hubby's busy a lot of mornings. And he just says, can you just get me a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit? Hi, good morning. How are you this morning? So I'm going to go ahead and make some up for the freezer for breakfast, freezer stock up. And that way when hubby's in a hurry and with us working on the new property, I can just go in and grab one and it can be put in the microwave and we have a quick breakfast for him. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be trying out the new product that we got in last week. I'll go ahead and do the eggs in that. And then we are going to be fermenting some honey and garlic. Hello, this is Korea. Good morning from Korea. Hello, how are you this morning? I've been doing a lot of research on the fermenting of the honey and garlic. And it's supposed to be a natural antibiotic. And it's supposed to help with inflammation and sinuses. And also help with colds if you're getting a cold. But it says it has to be 100% unfiltered raw honey. So I have that. And 8 garlic cloves. So we've got that. So we're going to try the honey garlic fermenting. I love to ferment. And I love honey and I love garlic. And if it's going to be a natural cold and helps with colds, and maybe possibly helps with inflammation, then I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. So we'll be doing a little bit of fermenting this morning. And I have a bunch of Biscuits. Normally I do almost everything from scratch. And I have this big thing of Biscuits I'm wanting to use up. Great. Oh, good. I'm glad you're doing great this morning. So I'm going to try and use this up. So I'm going to attempt to make biscuits out of this. Normally I don't make the biscuits out of it, but we're going to give it a good try this morning. See if I can't use that up. And then the product that I'm using is from Beautiful Kitchenware. And it is a 5-in-1 non-stick detachable electric skillet. So that's what we're going to be trying out this morning. And I got it in last week. I got that for the camper, and I haven't had a chance to try it out. So I did get it out, got everything washed and ready. So I'm going to start this morning with the biscuits. and we're going to see how that goes. And then we'll move on to the eggs, and then we'll move on to fermenting the honey garlic. So I'm going to move you over here just a little bit. This is my work area for now. And I'm going to need a little bit of room here to make biscuits. So I'm going to go ahead and make myself a little bit of room. And hubby's snack container is empty. I did make him a carrot cake last night. But I had to make a quick order from Walmart this morning because I thought I had sausage patties and I was out. So I went ahead and had them to deliver him some cherry turnovers and some chocolate, peanut butter chocolate chunk cookies. So I'm going to go ahead and get those in here to get those out of my way. And I've got a clean plate in there waiting on me. And I'm just make me some room here so I can get started on some biscuits. So this way, if hubby comes in, he'll have some goodies he can grab. He always lets me know when his goodies are running low. And I seen they were running low. I did, like I said, I made him a cake, a carrot cake yesterday. And he had that for dinner, for dessert. And he's had a couple of the cookies. So I'm just going to go ahead and put those in here to get those out of my way. Okay. Now, if he needs a treat, we've got his treat jar filled back up and he's good to go. So we're going to try and make some biscuits this morning. So how is everyone this morning? Are you ready for the weekend? I am definitely ready for the weekend. Trying to make a little bit of space here this morning. And I ordered these probably about a year ago. The kitchen is pretty. Oh, well, thank you. I ordered these probably about a year ago. And I haven't used them yet. And I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and get these out and try them this morning. And it came as a kit of 2. And they're really nice. They got a nice rubber handle. They're stainless steel. And they come with the inserts. Like if I want to make donuts or bagels, I can make donuts or bagels by using the little insert. That's the one. And then here is the other one. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's got the little bars in it. It's got the circle in it. Maybe if I put my hand in there, you can see it. There we go. And it has another insert. So I'm going to use the one for biscuits this morning. And this is made by, I think it's ALLICIN, and these are 3.5-inch cutters with handles. And I think I got these probably about a year ago, and I just haven't tried them out, and I thought, well, since I'm going to be making biscuits, hopefully we'll be making biscuits, we're going to see how this goes, because it's going to be with this quick. And I'm going to go ahead and try this one. And I'm going to go ahead real quick and wash this, and I'll be right back. And I want to go ahead and dry off my counter where I washed it, so we can try and make some biscuits. Now these are going to be Bisquick biscuits. These are not going to be scratch. So we will see how this goes. But I'm wanting to use up this Bisquick mix. I've had it for a while and I like to rotate everything. If you've been watching me, you've seen me, I like to rotate. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. Let me get me a big bowl. And I taped the recipe from the box. And this is for classic biscuits. And it says drop biscuits, but we're going to see if we can't just make regular biscuits. So let's see what happens. And we're going to make some breakfast biscuits here this morning. And I do have some oxygen absorbers in there to keep it fresh. And it says 2 cups. So we're going to do, it doesn't say how many biscuits that makes. So I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven. And I'm going to double this just to make sure. There's 2. Because I want to use up this Bisquick mix. So I'm probably going to make some different recipes that I can use this and use it up. Because I like to keep everything rotated. It's not that old. But that helps me to keep everything rotated. Okay, so I'm using 4 cups of Bisquick mix. So now I'm going to need I better get me let's see. There's my jar. I always mix up my milk, and I'm going to leave that open because I'm going to need some of that on the bottom. And let me get my pint jar is there. Let me get a teaspoon. I'm going to mix up some powdered milk because this calls for milk. I may have to get another jar out, looks like. So let me go ahead and get another jar out, just in case. And I like to mix up my milk as I go because it's only myself and my husband. And this way I know that I'm not wasting milk. It's not going bad. And the ratio on this is whole milk. It's powdered whole milk. And the ratio on this is 4 tablespoons of whole milk powder to 8 ounces of water equals 1 cup. And I'm going to make 2 cups. Okay, there's 1. And 1 tablespoon. And I'm just going to go ahead and add that right in there, because I don't want to waste it. I made a little bit of a mess, but not too bad. So I need 3 more tablespoons. 2, 3, and I need 16 ounces of water. And that's just whole powdered milk. And I need milk for my biscuits. So I'm going to go ahead and get that ready. Is it cold where you're at this morning? It was in the 30s here this morning. Hopefully you can see that okay. You don't really need to see me. We're just making biscuits, breakfast biscuits. And that is 16 ounces. So that is 2 cups of water. And I do not know what I've done with my lid. Oh, there it is. Right in front of me. So I'm going to go ahead and just mix that up really good. My oven is preheating to 350. And if I was following this recipe and just making one batch, it says one batch makes 8 biscuits, but I doubled it, so we're going to see. Because I'm wanting some pretty good sized biscuits. So instead of 2 cups of Bisquick, I used 4 cups. And it's calling for 2/3 of milk. So I am going to double that. Okay, there's 2/3. Because I'm doubling this recipe. And it's been a while since I made biscuits with Bisquick. So this may or may not turn out. This we'll find out. Could be interesting. And this recipe says it's for drop biscuits, but I'm not making drop biscuits this morning. I'm making regular biscuits. So we'll see how this turns out. And it calls for 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. So I'm going to need 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Can you make it very well? I'm going to try. Let's see what happens. I normally make biscuits from scratch, or if I'm in a hurry, I'll use the Poppin' Fresh. I do have Poppin' Fresh, so if this fails, I do have Poppin' Fresh. So we will see. Okay, I doubled that, so that is 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. So now I've doubled my recipe. And like I said, I'm going to be using this new biscuit cutter. I have not used it before. I've had them for over a year. And these are ALLICIN, I believe is how it's pronounced. HULISEN, ALLICIN. And I've had these for quite a while. And I've just never tried them. But I thought since I'm making biscuits this morning, I'm going to pull it out. Let me get me a wooden spoon. And here is the set. It comes with the 2, and it comes with the 2 inserts if I want to make bagels, or if for the whole center, it came with 2 of those. And so I want to make bagels or donuts. It's got the hole cutter as well, the center hole cutter. All right, so let's see how this goes. I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm getting ready. And they were calling for drop biscuits, and I'm not wanting a drop biscuit. So I can see right now That is going to be way too wet. So I'm going to start adding. I'm just going to do this by feel. I'm going to add at least 1 more cup. Now, if I was drop biscuiting that would probably be really good. But I'm not going to be dropping these. I'm going to be making regular biscuits. So that is way too wet. So I'm just going to keep adding until I see that it's just about the texture that I'm wanting for regular biscuits. Still wet. That's feeling better. I'm just wanting a biscuit dough. Now, if I would have cut all the instructions off the box, it probably would have had the biscuit recipe that I was looking for. But I just wanted the basic recipe that they had, and it was just drop biscuits, and I taped it to the front of my jar. And that way, I wouldn't forget, because I do forget. Now that's looking so much better. Now I don't want to overwork my dough, but I want it just a little bit more. See what I think of that. That looks better. That I can work with. It's still a little bit wet, still a little tacky. Check that texture. I think we can work with that. Okay, now I'm going to put some of this Bisquick on the counter, because I'm going to be rolling out these biscuits. And get my sleeves rolled up here. My oven has preheated, so that's perfect. Now let me see if we can make biscuits out of this. It's like I said, I haven't used Bisquick to make biscuits in a long time. I normally make them by scratch, or if I'm in a hurry, I usually just have the popping fresh. But I'm just trying to rotate my pantry, and I wanted to use up some of this biscuit mix. So that's what we're doing this morning. We're making biscuits. Take some of that flour away. I don't want it to be over floured, but I don't want it to be real gummy. So let me move all of that over. That's feeling good. I'm liking the feel of that. And I want some thick biscuits. I'm going to make these pretty thick. And I may have to mix up another batch. We will see. But I want them to be nice and fluffy. Make sure they're not sticking on the bottom. And then we're going to give this a try. We're going to try out this cutter. And let me see what I've got there. Let me go ahead and get my pan ready here. I don't have it ready, so I'm going to go ahead and get it ready. And I'm just using a glass pie pan. And I'm going to spray it real good with some ham. And we will see what we end up getting here this morning. They may or may not rise, so we will see. And I'm just making hubby some breakfast biscuits, so when he's in a hurry to go work on the property, if he just wants a breakfast biscuit so he can get started, I will have them made ahead in the freezer. And I think I can get at least one more out of this. So let me go ahead and just put this together here. Don't want to overwork it. I think I might be able to get 2 more out of that. They might be a little bit smaller, but it will be just fine. Don't have to be too perfect. And then I'm just going to call that a biscuit. Now that one might be my funky biscuit. We will see. Now we're going to go ahead and get those in the oven. I'd like to try it once it's finished. Well, we're giving it a good try here. We'll see what happens. Now these little ones might be a little bit funky, but I think it'll be all right. Wash my hands here and get that dough off on me. And I'm going to put these in the oven and we will see. We will see if they pass or fail. This could be good biscuits and this could be interesting. So they're ready to go in, and I have a couple funky biscuits. So here we go. All right, I've got those in the oven. And now I'm going to go ahead and just put some water in my bowl over here so this can soak. Make it a little easier for cleanup. And I'm just going to wipe all this off because I had flour on my hands and I made a bit of a mess. But it's all right. Okay, now I'm going to see if I can't just take a towel. And I'm going to see if I can't get a lot of this up before I use a wet rag. I should have put an apron on this morning. And I'm just going to get a plate and I'm just going to scoop that right over into a plate. I'll do it on this side. I've got my cabinets right there on that side and I've got a little bit of a lip over here. So I'm going to move it to this side. Awesome. Awesome. Now I'll use my wet rag. And I will get this dough cleaned up before it turns hard. And those were just Bisquick mix biscuits, and we'll see how they turn out. If they don't turn out good, I've got Poppin' Fresh. I have backup. But I will forewarn you, the last time I tried to make biscuits with Bisquick, they look like little hockey pucks. I could have played hockey with them. So we will see what happens. And that was just this quick mix. And I'm just trying to rotate my pantry and use up everything that I've got so I can rotate my stock. And there we go. We've got the biscuits in the oven. Now, whether they turn out or not is another thing. We will see. Me and Bisquick biscuits. When I make the drop biscuits, we do great. But usually, me and the regular biscuits don't do real good. So we shall see. They are rising, so fingers crossed. We shall see. So now we're going to get started on the rest of the breakfast. So let me just go ahead and dry this off. Goodness, I got flour everywhere. Got it on my stove. Ah, goodness, what a messy cook. Messy, messy. Okay, now we're going to get to try out the new piece of equipment that I ordered in. And I was showing it on one of my live streams. And we have not got to try it out yet. So I do have the lid holder on. I did get it washed. Everything's cleaned. So that is all ready to go. So I've got some cheese. I've got some sausage patties. And my breakfast biscuit. And I've got some eggs. So we're going to go ahead and scramble up some eggs. And then we're going to try out this new piece of equipment over here. So let's get started on that. Get me a whisk ready. And I'm going to use about a dozen eggs this morning. I want to make sure that I have plenty in there. I'm just getting ready for the weekend, and this way I'll be ahead. I can have this ready. They will be in the freezer. If hubby just wants a breakfast sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, I can just go in and get one and put it through the microwave, and he's ready to start working on the new property. Mr. Z, hubby, loves his breakfast. He is a breakfast eater. Now me, every now and then I can eat breakfast, but I'm not really much of the breakfast eater. But hubby loves his breakfast. He absolutely loves breakfast. So we're going to just go ahead and do a 12 eggs. That way I know I've got plenty of eggs. And we're going to try out the new piece of the new product over here. And I did get that for the camper, and we will be getting the camper set up probably within the next week or so up on the new property. So I really want to try this out and see what I think of it before I take it to the camper. So what do you have planned for the weekend? Do you have plans? Are you going to have something to do with your family or friends, or are you working around the house this weekend? I know it's cool here right now. I'm not sure what the weekend's supposed to be like. I think we're supposed to have rain. And my husband's been working on the property, and there's a lot, I mean a lot of wood that needs to be cut up. So we went and looked at some log splitters, and he's going to go probably in the morning and pick up a new log splitter, because they cut down several trees prior to us buying that. So all those tree tops and all the logs are there. And then we had to have a couple trees brought down in order to get everything set up and get the septic system and the power and the gas and water all ran through the property, and to get the place for the mobile home and the driveway. So we do have a lot of wood that is going to have to be cut up. So hubby's going to go ahead and get a wood splitter, and then he's got some friends that are going to come up and help him move some of those logs and run them through the, cut them up and then run them through the log splitter. I'm going to turn my exhaust fan on. I'm sorry about the noise, but I need to turn it on for the oven. Let me check those biscuits. Oh, they're rising. They just might survive. They just might make it. Okay, now I'm going to move you over here, and we're going to go over here and try out this new product. We're going to see what we think of it. I've got my lid holder on. I think that's really nice. And it is non-stick, but I'm still going to add just a little bit of vegetable oil, just to make sure. Not much, just a little bit. Probably about 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to get that turned on. And you all are trying this one out with me. And I'm not sure how this one is going to operate, so I'm going to turn it on about medium, because I'm going to make these eggs more like a large omelet, so that then I can cut them to put them on the biscuits to make the breakfast biscuits. So I'm going to let that heat up just a minute, and then we'll get started on that. And I do like this lid holder, so if you're on limited space and you don't want your counter messy, I really kind of like that. It does have the lid holder. So I'm going to let that heat up. Like I said, I've not used this before, so we'll see how it goes. And I'm just going to find a spatula here, and I'm just going to kind of move that grease around, see if I can kind of get it evenly spread out a little bit. So when I put my eggs in there, it'll kind of be distributed pretty nice. And that's heating up pretty good. And that is on medium, so I may want to go to medium low, because that's really warming up pretty quick. And I really kind of want these to be more like an omelet. I don't want them to be overcooked, but I want them to be like a fluffy omelet. That is very hot to the touch. The handle is cool. I'm going to go ahead and get that. Oh yes, that is warm. I'm going to go ahead and get those in there. And I'm just going to let those start cooking. Okay, I'm going to turn it up just a tad bit. I'm going to turn it to medium. and we'll see how it does. Again, this is the first time I've used this, so you're using it with me for the first time. And let's take a look at these biscuits while that's doing that. Oh my goodness, those are rising nicely. Those are going to be really nice biscuits. So far so good. Maybe they're not going to be hockey pucks. Okay, I'm seeing some bubbling going on in here. And again, I'm not really sure on this product. This is new. So I want it to cook really well on one side, and then I'm going to see if I can't cut it in half and try to flip it and just make like a big omelet. The handles are very cold. Let me go ahead and try putting the lid on and see if that helps speed it up just a little bit. I really don't think that would matter with eggs, but I'm going to put it on and see what happens. It's just steaming and I can't see, so I'm going to go ahead and just move that off to the side. And they are cooking nicely by the looks of it. And this is supposed to be non-stick, a non-stick pan. But I did add about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil in it, just to make sure, because it is a new product. I'm going to go check on the puppies. I'll be right back, so I'm going to leave you here where you can see that. I'm going to go ahead and throw this egg for you. That looks like it's cooking quite well. So I'm going to attempt, I'm just going to move this lid out of my way. I really don't want to break the lid, so I'm just going to move that off to the side. And I am going to see if I can flip this. I'm going to cut it in half, and then, or even quarters. Let me try that. Let me try quartering it. Might be easier to flip it if it's quartered. It does feel like it's wanting to, right in the center, like it's a little more done than it is on the outside from what I'm feeling. So let's see what happens. This could be interesting. And like I said, this is the first time I've used this product, so we're just trying it out. I purchased it for the camper. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. It feels like it's wanting to get a little bit overcooked right there. I can separate that. See if we can flip this one. And I'm just kind of making like an omelet. Not too bad. Now let's see if we can do the same thing with these two pieces. Try not to touch the sides. The sides are hot. And one more piece. Oops. I won't be stuck underneath there. All right. Messy this morning, my goodness, just look at the mess. It does look like it's browning very nice, and for what I'm wanting these for, I think this is going to be just great for this morning. Of course, I'm not sure on exactly what temperature that I want because I'm using this for the first time, but from what I'm seeing, I'm really liking this. I think this is going to be a nice addition for the camper. It's not sticking. I did put a couple tablespoons of oil, vegetable oil in just to make sure that it didn't stick, even though it said it was non-stick. And I just kind of want these to be like, almost like an omelet. Because I'm going to be putting these on my biscuits. And let me take a peek at my biscuits. Oh, those are beautiful. They're getting there. So I'm going to go ahead and get these eggs ready. I've got some sausage patties over there. Flip it again. Oh, that's pretty. That is pretty. I want to make sure they're completely cooked all the way around. That side a little bit longer, and then I'll flip them back over. Do I like this product? I absolutely do. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just bought this one to take to the camper because I thought it would help me out at the camper. So whenever I need an extra way to cook, if it's rainy and I can't go out on the grill, or cook on the open fire, and my stove is full because your camp stove is very small, or if I just want to do something quick, I wanted to see if I could get something like this because I knew I could make breakfast and different meals with it. And it looks like it's pretty compact, and I thought it would be very nice, a very nice addition for the camper. And those are really turning out nice. And again, I haven't used it before, so I'm trying and playing around with the temperature. And I think those are going to be absolutely perfect. I'm going to give them a few more minutes, and then I'm going to turn this off. And I cooked those on medium-low The highest I went up to was medium on this particular product. And this is made by Beautiful Kitchenware. And it's the new product I got in last week. I did a live stream on it when I got it and done the unboxing. If you want to see all of that. But it is called Beautiful Kitchenware. And it's a 5-in-1 non-stick detachable electric skillet. So this top does come off of the bottom for serving and for cleaning. And it's not real big, and I wanted something that I thought would be nice for the camper. And so far, I'm really liking this. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. It does get hot on the side. These handles are remaining cool, but this is very hot. So if you have children, that is very hot. The bottom is staying cool. I think I'm going to be very happy with that. So today would be my review, trying this product. And again, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. And I think that is going to be absolutely perfect. So, my eggs are done. And I'm going to move over here and get ready for some biscuits to come out of the oven. And I was using the powdered milk this morning again, like I always do. And I've got hair everywhere this morning. I was using my whole milk, the powdered milk, and I used Biscuits because I'm rotating my pantry, and I knew I'd had this one in here for a while, and I was getting ready to go pick up some more things for my pantry, and I wanted to get an extra Biscuit, so I wanted to see if I could go ahead and go through this one, because one like this will last me several months, because it's just myself and my husband. So that's helping me to rotate. Get me a cooling rack down here. And let's take a look at those biscuits. I'm going to put my lid back on my eggs to keep them warm. Oh, they have really risen. I'm going to give them, let's say, another 10 to 15 minutes. I hope you can see that. They're beautiful. So let me put the timer on for 10 minutes and I'll check them. So I've got the eggs, I've got the biscuits, and I have some of the frozen, and these are fully cooked. The frozen fully cooked pork sausage patties. So I'm making breakfast biscuits for the freezer. And I really need more room. We are remodeling, so I'm limited on my space. I'm just going to move this out of my way. So that will give me a little bit more room to work here where you'll be able to see me and see what I'm doing. You don't really need to see me, but you need to see what I'm doing here. And if you just come in, hubby's treat container was empty. So when I ordered, I had to pick up some sausage patties. I didn't think I had enough, so I had a Walmart order delivered this morning. And I got him some cherry turnovers and some chocolate chunk cookies. Plus, I baked him a carrot cake last evening, and he had a piece of it for dinner. So, he has plenty of goodies in the kitchen. So, I've got eggs made. I've got cheese. And these are pre-cooked patties. So, what I'm going to be doing is assembling these biscuits and turning these into a breakfast freezer meal. So if hubby's in a hurry and doesn't want a full breakfast and wants to get started, I can just go in and get one of these biscuits out of the freezer, and breakfast will be ready in just a few minutes in the microwave. And I went ahead and got the fully cooked, and since they're going to be frozen, I'm going to be putting these right on the biscuits, frozen, and then I'll be individually wrapping these and putting them in a Ziploc baggie, so I can go into the freezer and just get into the gallon Ziploc baggie and just take out however many sandwiches that I want for that morning. And just individually sliced cheese. I've got biscuits in the oven. We've got the eggs over here ready. And I'm going to go ahead and unplug this. And this is really nice because you can take it apart and serve. So I want to move, everything's still hot here, so I want to move everything out of my way. And there is our eggs. And I just cut them in some squares. And I'm going to have 8 biscuits, so I'm going to be cutting those again. I think it's 8 biscuits, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. I've actually got 7 biscuits. So I'll be cutting this into some smaller pieces to put it on my biscuits. So I'm just going to cut these in half. And I know that's going to give me 8 pieces. So that will be my eggs for my breakfast biscuits. And we're just waiting on the biscuits. And I've got a timer set for about 5 more minutes. And then the last thing that I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to be fermenting some honey and garlic. And I'm going to be using a pint jar, and I've got it washed and cleaned and ready to go. So that after I get my breakfast sandwiches put together, I'll go ahead and make my honey, garlic, and we're going to be fermenting it. And it does call for raw, unfiltered honey and 8 cloves of garlic. So once I get breakfast out of the way, then I'll go ahead and start on that. And the biscuit cutter that I was using this morning was in a little kit. I ordered this over a year ago, and I had not used the biscuit cutter before, so I thought I'd try it this morning, and it was a 3.5-inch cutter. And I'm not affiliated with them in any way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and unwrap some cheese while I'm waiting to try and speed things up. So I'll have my biscuits over there. And I know I'm going to need at least 7 slices of cheese. So just to speed it up, I'm just going to go ahead and get these open and laid to the side. may have to let those biscuits cool just a little bit. We will see. So 7 biscuits and 7 slices of cheese. And I have my eggs portioned into 8 portions. I cut it in half and then cut it again. So I'm just going to go ahead and move that lid so I don't accidentally break it. I'll put it right there. Take a look at my biscuits. Oh, those look good. I'm going to say, I'm going to do another 5 minutes. 6 minutes. We'll just call it even. 6 minutes. And then I'll get that moved over. Pull to open. Let me see. I like these resealables. And these are just the preheated or pre-cooked sausage patties. And they're not very thick, but it'll be a nice breakfast biscuit. But I'm not going to heat those up because these are going to be put in the freezer. And then I'll be wrapping them individually. Once they cool, I'll have to let them cool. I'll be wrapping them individually with plastic wrap. And I'll be putting them in a gallon freezer bag. And those will go in the freezer for breakfast sandwiches. And it smells really good in here this morning. I may have to have a breakfast sandwich. And I'm not much for breakfast, but every now and then I can eat a breakfast sandwich. We'll go ahead and put this extra cheese away. And I want to enjoy a little bit of coffee while I wait. My belt keeps slipping on me this morning. It's one of those long ones. And I just have everything tucked up in. So nothing's in my way this morning. I really like it because it's long and it gives you more styles that you can use it with. But this morning I just have everything tucked up out of my way. So I don't get caught on anything because I'm in the kitchen. And I'm going to move my honey, my jar, and my garlic over here on a cutting board. I just wiped my cutting board, and I'll be using that for my honey garlic fermenting. We're just waiting on the biscuits. It's like a pot of water. If you want the water and you want it to boil, it's never going to boil. So right now we're doing biscuits. Oh, those so pretty. Those really turned out nice. I'm impressed. I want to get my spatula over here. I've got a cooling rack. I've got some sausage patties. I've got eggs. And we're going to be bringing out the biscuits. And I'm going to be putting the biscuits right here on this cooling rack. And then I'll just be assembling some breakfast sandwiches. And then I'll be setting them back on a cooling rack. So let me go ahead and make some room here for another cooling rack. And I'll just be making an assembly line. I'll be getting my biscuits, and I'll be putting on the egg and the cheese, the sausage, and then I'm going to be moving them over to this cooling rack to cool before I wrap them and put them into the freezer this morning. So the biscuits are almost ready. We're down to our last minute. Wash my hands because I was flipping my hair around. And I got water all over my shirt. Alright, let's go ahead and get these biscuits out. And yes, I do have new hot plates that I haven't. I just grabbed my rags. See, I actually do have the hot mix. And the biscuits are ready. Alright, let's pull these biscuits out. Oh, that looks amazing. Can you see that? Can you see those biscuits? Oh. That turned out great. Now I'm going to take my little brush, and I'm going to brush a little bit of that flour off. So you can see how pretty and brown those are. Those look delicious. And these are just quick biscuits. And I followed the recipe for the drop biscuits, but I added a little bit more of the Bisquick mix until it was the texture that I wanted for my biscuits. And then I put my biscuits together. Okay, now I'm going to get me just a little bit of butter. Because these don't have butter added into them. So I'm just going to take a little bit of butter, and I'm just going to dab the top of my biscuits. Oh, those are pretty. It's turned out very nice. And we'll hope they're not like a hockey puck. Me and Bisquick Biscuits, sometimes we have a little fight. Okay, so I've got those smothered in butter. Now I'm just going to take a towel and just kind of wipe that off a little bit. So it doesn't get soggy. We don't want them soggy. But there you can see what beautiful biscuits those turned out to be. Absolutely beautiful. All right. So let's assemble some breakfast biscuits here. And they're going to be hot. So I want to be very careful. And I'm just going to get me a fork. To help me with this, just to see, just hoping that I don't burn myself. I'm going to use one of my handy dandy little mitts, as I call them. And I'm going to just lift, whoops, see if I can lift these biscuits. Oh, those are crumbling. Oh, let me see if I can lift those right on out of there. Beautiful biscuits. Just look at that. And they are hot. So I'm just going to separate them and I'm going to make some breakfast sandwiches from my homemade biscuits here. From Bisquick. Oh, just look at that. Nice and fluffy. Let me see if I can get a plate. That was mine. And I'm just going to cut these biscuits with my fork. Just to try and get them close to half. And they're very hot. Just look at those biscuits. Perfect. All right, so now I'm going to start making some biscuit breakfast sandwiches. So I want an egg. I'm just going to double this one over. Here we go. I'm just going to double my egg over, and I've got egg. I think I want my sausage on the bottom. We're going to do sausage. We're going to do egg. Oh boy, I'm crumbling. Those are crumbly. Sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Those are so soft and crumbly. I should have let them cool a little bit. But I'm trying to make my breakfast sandwiches. So that is one big breakfast biscuit. Hubby should be happy with that. That'll make a nice breakfast for him. No, no, Lily. No, no. And these are crumbling. Oh my goodness. They're just wanting to crumble apart. I should have let them cool a little bit longer, but it'll be all right. Oh, big biscuits. Another sausage. Another egg. I'm going to fold that egg over. And a cheese. They're a little bit crumbly, but they're delicious looking. A little bit crumbly will be just fine. Those are some big biscuits. Big. Stay together now. Come on. Work with me. Work with me. Stick to the cheese. All right. It will be all good. Boy, just look at those biscuits. They turned out great. I should have let them cool a little bit, but I am trying to get this done this morning so I can get a head start on the weekend. Big sausage patty. That's a big one, so I'm going to get a big egg here. Fold him in half. And then I'm going to add some cheese. And these, I think, are fluffier than McDonald's biscuits. They are bigger than McDonald's biscuits. Now that is a breakfast biscuit. See if I can get this one separate a little bit. And these were just made with Bisquick if you're just coming in. These are not made from scratch. I'm just trying to get through some of my pantry stock, and I needed to use up some Bisquick mix. So I'm making breakfast biscuits for the freezer. And they're a little hot, so they are crumbly. They're very, very hot yet. Just check them out of the oven. So we've got sausage. We've got egg. And these are a healthy helping of biscuit. Breakfast biscuit for hubby. Because he loves breakfast. And these are sausage, egg, and cheese. If I let these set a little bit, they may not be quite as crumbly, but it's all into the same place. It's all good. Hubby will absolutely love it. For a quick breakfast. And I've noticed that the Bisquick biscuits are a little more crumbly in nature. They really are. If I can get that to stick to the cheese. I'm going to go ahead and finish my last two, and then I'm going to wrap those in some plastic. Oh, this is one big biscuit. Just look at that. Those turned out amazing. Still very hot. They don't look like hockey pucks, so I'm impressed. The last time I tried to do biscuits, they look like hockey pucks. They didn't rise. These did a real nice rise. So sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits for the freezer. Breakfast biscuits. And with us working on the property, hubby likes to get up and get a good start. Look at the size of that. My goodness. That is gigantic. And we've got one more. Now we've got some beautiful breakfast biscuits. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of my way. And yes, they did have a little bit of crumbling. But as you can see, those biscuits are absolutely perfect. They're definitely not hockey pucks. They are crumbly. Now, if I'd let them set for a little bit, they may not have been quite as crumbly. So now I'm going to go ahead and get these wrapped. We'll go ahead and get these all wrapped, and we'll put those in the freezer for hubby. And I think he will be just fine that they're a little bit crumbly. I don't think he'll have a problem with that. So I'm just going to wrap them individually. Some plastic wrap. And then these are going to go in the freezer for quick grab and go breakfast sandwiches. Sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. So that will speed up my weekend if he just wants a quick breakfast. Because a lot of times he just wants a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. I'll have them ready. Ready to go. Oops, let me fold this one this way. There we go. And I'm wrapping them individual so that way I can go in and take out as many as I want. And I'll be munching on all these pieces of biscuit. Delicious. And they are very big, very fluffy, very light. light and fluffy biscuit. So if you're in a hurry, you can always make these ahead now, and then whenever you need them and you're in a hurry, you'll have them in your freezer for your breakfast stock up. That's why I like to do a big day of baking, and then I have days worth of food prepared and in the freezer for when I need it. And no, my biscuits are not perfect, but they are made with love. Some of them's a little bit crumbly, but it'll be all right. But I have noticed that when I make the Bisquick biscuits, they do tend to be a little more crumbly. And that just gives me a little bit more to nibble on. Very good. Very good. Delicious. Whoops. Let's bring that other piece there that fell. There we go. Let's get him all together. And now that I know these are a little crumbly, I can probably just put these in the microwave and heat them up and put them on a little plate. And that way, hubby can use a fork if he needs to get all of the goodness. And this one that crumbled really bad is probably going to be my breakfast. And I will have a breakfast biscuit this morning, because hubby has already ate this morning. So I'll wrap that one separate, and I'll know that that's the one that's really crumbly. But just look at those sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. Don't those just look amazing? So I have some breakfast sandwiches made ahead and ready for my freezer. And yes, they were the Bisquick biscuits, and they are a little crumbly. And those are the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. And I used the pre-cooked sausage, so I just put it on there frozen, because I'm going to be freezing these. And then I'll be just taking them out as I need them and heating them in the microwave. For a quick, easy breakfast. So there is some breakfast sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits ready to go to the freezer. And I'm going to go ahead and put these in my freezer. And I like to keep extra little sausage patties. I like using them on the Blackstone grill. And when I'm making little sandwiches like this. So I'm going to put these in the freezer. There we go. And I will have an egg left over for breakfast. And I'm going to microwave that with this one real crumbly biscuit here this morning. And then I will have me what I will be calling my brunch. So I'm going to set that aside. And that's going to be my brunch. And then these, I'm going to go ahead and put in a Ziploc baggie. And I don't have to label them because I know if it's biscuits, it is a breakfast sandwich. That is sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. Breakfast sandwiches. And just look how big and fluffy. Delicious. And then I'll just put these in a gallon Ziploc baggie. If you're going to be making other things with biscuits, of course, you want to label it. I know that this is breakfast biscuits. And my husband usually only has one biscuit. Unless he's really hungry, then he'll have two. So that's going to make a few meals. So if he wants a quick breakfast, I can just go in and grab that out. And I have his breakfast ready to go so he can get busy outside working on whatever he wants to be doing outside. And there is my breakfast. Freezer breakfast meals. And that's going to give me 6 to put in the freezer. So that will do if he wants 2. It'll do him 3 days. If he only wants 1, I have several days of freezer breakfast meal ready for hubby. Okay. So now the last thing I want to work on, let me go ahead and move this to the side. I'm going to get me a damp rag here. Is I want to work on this garlic and honey. And it's really only 2 ingredients. It's your garlic, your honey, and a jar to put it in. And we are going to do a fermenting. So let me move these. And yes, I do have oven mitts. I did get me a new set of oven mitts. But out of habit, I just usually grab my rags. I guess I'm just old-fashioned. And out of habit, I do grab my rags. So there, we've made it through the breakfast part of this. Just look at those beautiful sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. And that didn't take very long at all. And now I'm going to go ahead and move you to this side, and we are going to do this fermenting. I'll get you over here where you can see. I'm going to put my butter away. Oh, there's a piece of biscuit I just stepped on. Let me get me a damp towel here. All right. So we did try out the new this new product that I had purchased, and I had it on one of my live streams. And what do I think of it? Let me turn you around here where you can see me. Now, what do I think of it? I think I'm very impressed. I think this is going to be a very nice product for a camper. It's not very big. It's not bulky. It didn't stick. I think this is going to be really nice for the camper, and that's what I purchased it for. And I did say I would bring you on a live stream as I reviewed it and tell you what I think of it, and I absolutely love it. It did not stick. The lid holder worked perfect. And it was just easy to assemble. Just had my controller, my pen, my lid, hand lid, my lid holder, and the detachable bottom. Now, it did get very hot on the sides, so if you have little ones, you definitely want to be careful because it is very hot on the sides when you're using it. So, that was me trying that out, and I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I had ordered that for the camper, and I had unboxed it on live, and I said I'd bring you along the first time I used it, so we got to use it together this morning, and I do really like it. So the last thing I'm going to do should be pretty quick. I'm going to need one jar. I'm going to use a mason jar, and I'm just using a lid that I've used before because I'm going to be just fermenting in this. And you need honey, and it has to be 100% raw and unfiltered. And you need 8 cloves of garlic. And we're going to ferment some honey garlic. So let's get started on that. Let me get my milk put away. Out of the way. And let me see if I can find a little bowl so I can put all my trash in it this morning. Okay, I'm just going to peel my garlic. And everybody does this their own way. So you peel your garlic how you feel comfortable. And I need 8 cloves. So I got a large garlic the other day at Kroger's. And I'm going to need 8 cloves. So there's 1, 2. We're going to call that 3 because I'm not going to use that brown oil. We'll call that 2 because I'm not going to use that little dark one. Because you don't want any blemishes on your garlic. And this has some nice round ones. That one looks like it's getting ready to sprout, so I may not be able to use that one. We will have to see. Let's see what we have here. This looks like a nice garlic, but you don't really know till you start breaking into the inside. So I'm just separating it here, and then we'll get it all peeled and into the jar, and we will get the honey in, and we will ferment some honey. And this is supposed to be almost like a natural antibiotic. It boosts your immune system. It helps with like colds, if you're getting a cold in the winter time. And it also is supposed to help with sinus problems and inflammation. And I have sinus problems and I have inflammation. So I'm going to go ahead and get this into my jar here. That one's the one that's sprouting. Okay. So let me get a heavy knife. And they want you to crush your garlic a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Plus it makes it easier to peel. We'll make sure I don't have any more peeling on there. And I'm going to cut off my ends. And I'm going to just kind of break it a little bit, because they say that that helps to release what you're wanting released inside. So, to help with this whole process. So I am going to crush mine just a little bit. Oh, that garlic smells so good. I love garlic, and I love honey. So, when I seen this, I thought, well, I'm going to try that, because I absolutely love garlic. I love honey. And if by fermenting it, it's a benefit for your body and your immune system to help you with colds and sinuses and inflammation, I was all in to try it. So, I'm definitely going to try it. I got the ends off of all of those. Oh no, not quite. I'm going to have to still trim them up a little bit. That's a nice one. So I'm just going to add a little bit of pressure just to try and break it up a little bit. So I'll make sure I don't have any more peeling on there. And then we're going to ferment this. I think this takes the longest. Now, you can get the already peeled garlic and use it. I just wanted to go ahead and get some fresh. And I'm just kind of crushing it a little bit to activate it. Cutting off my ends. And when you crush it a little bit like that, it makes it a little bit easier to peel as well. If you're peeling it. Again, you can get the pre-peeled. It's got a little bit of a crush, so that's good. I'm just cutting my ends off, peeling it, just kind of adding a little bit of pressure just to break the garlic down a little bit, but not a lot, just to break it enough to activate all the goodies in the garlic. All your natural goodies. Now that one has green all the way through, so I'm not going to use it. I'll save that, and I'll use that in dinner. And it does have to be fresh garlic cloves if you're going to be fermenting this. It can't be dried and dehydrated. It has to be fresh. Ooh, that one's got green in it too. Okay, that one's going to be dinner. And you don't really know until you cut into them, so. But they did say if it had green in the middle, not to use those, so I'm putting those aside. I'm just following their suggestions. I love the smell of garlic. And that one has some green in it, so I'm going to lay it to the side. That one has the green. Clean up a little bit of my mess there. But I think I'm going to get more than 8 cloves. They called for 8 cloves. That one has green in it, so I'm going to lay that to the side. Those are going to go into my spaghetti sauce. That one has some green, so I'm going to lay it to the side. So does that one. And again, when you're buying garlic, you can't really see what's in the middle to you. Actually, start working into the middle. So I did get extra in case I would need it, but it called for 8 cloves, and I think I'm going to be good there. That one has green, so I'm not going to use that. That one has green. That one has the green. That one has green. Okay, so those are going to go in my spaghetti sauce. Okay, so I've got a few in here. So let me get out another one. And I'll just go ahead and cut up a few more. And I'm just trying this for the first time, so. They said about 8 cloves, so I just want to make sure I got about 8 cloves in there. Hubby's going to come in and think I'm making something in the kitchen with garlic. It smells amazing. Okay, that one looks good. I'm not seeing any green in that one. That one looks perfect. No green in that one. And I'm just crushing it just a little bit so it'll start letting out the natural chemicals that it puts off for this particular process. They said just to smash it, and that would start it releasing its natural, I think it's called ALLICIN. I'll have to double check that. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. And it's supposed to be almost like a natural antibiotic. I think they said back years ago that they would use it like on an open wound, garlic, because it helped to heal before they had antibiotics. And it's supposed to be really good to boost your immune system, to help fight colds and keep you from getting as many colds, and to help shorten the colds. And it's supposed to be good for inflammation and sinuses, and boost your immune system. So I'm trying it, and I love fermented foods, so I'm going to give this a try. It's the first time I've tried this one. So let me get these others here done, and then I'll get the honey in. I'll start this off with a small batch of garlic, and then I'll take you through the process as I check it, and then I'll let you know what I think of it. They say that as it ferments, it becomes very sweet. They said at first the garlic's hot, and then the more it ferments, that it becomes very sweet. And I think it's good for 12 months. You'll have to do your own research. I was researching this online, and found it on YouTube. It's fermented honey garlic. Oops, come back here, little one. Okay, all of those. That one looks like a good one. We'll go ahead and get that one in there. And they said if they're green, or if they have bad spots on your garlic, that you need to remove that. And if they're green, not to use it. There, see how that has that bad spot on it? I'm going to go ahead and remove that bad spot. And I've got 2 more, and we'll get those in there, and then we're going to go ahead and get the honey in, and I'll show you the next step. And I'm not going to do a whole jar of this. I'm not going to fill the jar completely up with garlic because I've never tried it before. So this is the first time I've tried it. So I'm going to do a small batch of the garlic, and then I'll let you know what I think of it, what my personal opinion is. And this is our last piece of garlic. And I'm going to be saving that garlic over there for spaghetti sauce. All right. So let me get a small container, and I'll put that in it because I did cut the ends off. And I'm just going to put that in here, and I'll be using that in my spaghetti sauce. Okay, let me see if I can't clear up my workspace here a little bit. Because if you work with garlic, you know it's a little bit messy, but it's delicious. Hopefully that isn't flying all over. There we go. All right. We'll set that aside. So now I've got my garlic. I'd like to try it once it's finished. Oh, that was another, that was a comment from earlier. And this is fresh, 100% raw, unfiltered honey. And that's what they called for. So I'm just going to add that right in on top of my, see if I can bring you closer here. Okay, I'm just adding that right in on top of my honey, or right in on top of my garlic. And they said to fill it up to this line. Fresh honey. I love honey. And I love garlic, so I thought, wow. So now I have my garlic, and I got my honey, and I got it. I want to make sure it's all submerged down in there. And it is. Now, they said to put the lid on the first day. I'm gonna leave this tight for today. Not real tight, but tight enough that I know nothing's going to get into it. So the first day you leave it right side up, and then the second day you're going to turn it upside down. And they said you may need to burp it at least once daily while it's fermenting. So for today, I'm going to leave it right side up. Then tomorrow, I'll come in and turn my garlic honey. I'll burp it, and then I'll turn it upside down. That way you know that your honey is completely coating all of your garlic. And they said to let it ferment. And at first, your garlic is going to be hot. And then you're going to start noticing some bubbles. And then you're also going to start noticing that your honey will get thinner as this starts to ferment. So this is a honey garlic fermenting that I'm doing. And it's supposed to be a natural immune booster. It's supposed to help if you're in cold season, if you're getting colds, it's supposed to help you get less colds and to help a cold not last as long. But once it's fermented, you can do, I think they said 1 teaspoon of the honey, the garlic honey, daily. Or if you want to take the garlic once it has been fermented, you can take a piece of the garlic and you can just chop it up in your food with whatever food you're eating. And it takes several weeks for this to completely ferment. But you're going to know that it's getting close as this changes from a thick honey. It'll be more thin. Your garlic will go from hot to a sweet. And you are ready. And this will last 1 year. So, and they said you don't have to put it in your refrigerator. So, today's day 1. We got it all together. I've just got my lid on tight. Now tomorrow I'm going to come in and I'm going to loosen my lid and let it burp. I'm going to put my lid back on, and the second day I'll turn it upside down. That way I know that my garlic and my honey is all getting mixed. And then on the third day I would just come in and turn it back up. I would burp it and then let it set on the third day right side up. And then each day I'm going to be changing, doing the burp and then changing the position until it is done fermenting. And that way I know that everything is covered and that it'll do a proper fermenting. So all you need is some garlic and some raw, 100% raw, unfiltered honey in a jar to put it in with a tight lid, a lid that you can put on tight. But you do have to burp it daily as well. So this is a garlic honey that will be fermenting. And they say that it's almost like a natural antibiotic. It's an immune booster. It helps with, if you're going into cold season, to keep from getting colds, as many colds, or to not have a cold as long. And they also say that by taking, if you have a cough, once it's fermented, if you take a teaspoon or so of the honey, once or twice a day, it will help with your cough. It'll work like a cough suppressor as well. So I'm very excited to try this. So I thought I would share that to you this morning. So all you need is a jar with a lid that you can tighten, some fresh garlic. You need at least 8 cloves, some raw unfiltered honey. And then the other thing that we did this morning was we made our breakfast biscuits. And these are sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits that I made this morning. And I'm putting these in the freezer for freezer meals. And they are big, thick, heavy-duty biscuits. And I had one that was really crumbly, so that is going to be my brunch. And I had a little bit of leftover egg, so that is going to be my brunch today. So, that is what I had to show you this morning and share with you this morning. And as you can see, those are very big. This is going to be my brunch, the leftover egg, the biscuit that wanted to crumble. And we did that using the new product that I was showing on a live stream the other day that I got in. And I said when I got it cleaned that I would do a review with you. And so I brought you along this morning. We did our eggs in this morning, and it did absolutely amazing. And I had purchased this for the camper, and I think I'm going to be very happy with it. And it's beautiful cookware, or kitchenware, sorry, beautiful kitchenware. See the B on the bottom there. And I am absolutely impressed. I think I'm really going to be happy with this in the camper. It's not real big and bulky. It's going to be easy to store. And it was very easy to use. And as you can see, it made beautiful eggs. Here's the eggs from the electric skillet this morning. So I'm very impressed with it. I was using up some of my pantry stock. So I just used some Biscuits this morning because I'm trying to keep everything rotated. And I had some Biscuit mix. And I just took the recipe off the box and just taped it on there so I'd know what all I needed this morning. So I'm using this one. I am getting ready to restock my pantry before we get the camper set up, because I'll be taking some things to the camper for that pantry. So I thought I would make some biscuits this morning and bring you along. And we made it with the Bisquick. I followed the drop biscuit recipe, but I wanted a regular biscuit. So I just added some more of the Bisquick powder mix until I felt that it was at the consistency that I wanted. And just look at those beautiful biscuits. Sorry, the puppies are hearing people go by. But I made 7 breakfast biscuits. They're sausage, egg, and cheese. And this is for my freezer, so when my husband's in a hurry and he doesn't want to take the time for me to make a whole big breakfast, or if he's just wanting a quick breakfast biscuit, I've already got them made. I'm putting them in the freezer. It has the frozen sausage that was pre-cooked, the eggs that we made this morning, and the electric skillet. cheese, and they're on the biscuits that we made with the Biscuit this morning. So we did that. So we got to try that out. And then we made the, we're making fermented honey garlic. So I used a jar. I used some garlic cloves, fresh garlic cloves. And I used some 100% raw and unfiltered honey. And I'm going to be fermenting this. It's supposed to be a natural immune builder. It's supposed to help with inflammation. Some people say it helps with sinuses if you've got sinus problems, and I do, and allergies. So I'm hoping this will help. And it's supposed to be really nice for cold and flu seasons whenever you're starting to get a cold. It's supposed to help you get less colds if you are taking it daily. And you can just take a teaspoon of it daily. Or you can take the garlic cloves. Once this is all fermented, you can either use, take a teaspoon of the honey, or you can just chop up some of that garlic over whatever meal you're making and eat it that way. And they said you'll know that it's fermented as you watch your honey will get thinner and your garlic will become really tender. And I'll have to double check again, but I know that it does take quite a while for you to ferment it. So we started it today. We'll have it upright. Then I'll burp it tomorrow, let any air out because it is fermenting. I'll put my lid on tight, and then the next day, tomorrow I'll turn it upside down. That way I'm making sure that all my garlic's covered. And then the next morning I'll turn it back over and repeat the same process. I'll burp it. The third day I'll leave it upright. The fourth day I'll come in and burp it, and then again I'll rotate it. You can find this on YouTube, and this is a fermented garlic and honey, and that's where I found this at. So I will let you know what I think of it. And today's day 1, so I'm going to let it set upright and start fermenting, and I'm going to see what I think of this because I do have inflammation. I do have sinus problems, and I don't know why, but this past winter I had a lot of colds. So I'm hoping that will help boost my immune system because it's supposed to be a natural immune system booster. So I'm hoping. So that is all I have today. And I just want to thank you for stopping in and being with me in my kitchen this morning. And if you go back to the beginning, you'll get to see we made biscuits. And I used the Biscuit, nothing special. I didn't do them by scratch today. I'm doing a pantry rotation, and I want to get everything rotated and get ready to set up my pantry in the camper. We're getting ready to move the camper up to the new property. So I wanted to go ahead and make some breakfast biscuits, and we did. And they turned out amazing. So I have some breakfast biscuits for the freezer. So when hubby wants a quick breakfast, I can just go in and grab them out. And I got my fermented honey and garlic started. So, and I got to try out the new product. And you all got to be with me today while I tried it out. I wanted to try it out before I moved it up to the camper because I purchased it for the camper. So anyway, I want to thank you for joining me today, and that's all I have. So thank you for joining me in my kitchen and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you the next time. I'm going to hop off of here, and I'm going to have some brunch, and I'm going to heat my coffee back up, and I'm going to enjoy my day. So until next time, bye-bye, everyone. Enjoy your kitchen. Don't be afraid to come in your kitchen and try new things. It's fun. I got to try something new today. It's a new product. So I enjoy trying new things. I enjoy spending time in the kitchen, cooking and baking. So enjoy your kitchen. Come in and enjoy your kitchen and have fun. So until next time, bye-bye, everyone. I'm wishing you a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your weekend. And I will see you the next time. Bye-bye, everyone. Have an absolutely wonderful day. And enjoy your weekend. And enjoy your kitchen. And have fun in your kitchen. Bye-bye. I'll see you the next time.